Alright, let's do it. Get stuff on the screen. Let's see. Okay. I do. So, budget model, every dollar has a job, get the legal stuff out of the way. The marketing, general, negotiating commissions are entirely negotiable by law, yada yada yada, spam, AI, for how we don't discriminate, all that stuff. Yay, pause and read if you need to. Learn the copyrights. Welcome back to the MREA series. Today we're diving into a topic that many agents ignore until it's too late. The budget model. Here's the truth. You can have all the leads, all the listings, all the closings in the world, but if you don't manage your money like a business owner, you'll always be chasing instead of building wealth. This model is all about helping you do one thing: keep more of what you earn. The budget model teaches you how to run a lean and profitable business, know what percentages to spend and where, make decisions based on numbers, not emotions, and ultimately build a business that funds your life. We're not here to talk about having lattes. I don't know what that is. But it's fine. We're here to talk about running your business like a CEO, because that's what you are. So if you've never felt like your bank account doesn't reflect how hard you're working, this is a session that changes that. So let's get started. Now that you understand where your money goes, let's talk about how to control it. These 3 rules from the MREA budget model will help you stay profitable, focused, and financially healthy, no matter what level of production you're at. Number 1, lead with revenue. This is the number 1 rule. Don't spend money until you've earned it yet. Before you hire, launch a new marketing plan, or upgrade tools, ask, is the revenue already there to support this? In other words, your spending should follow your income, not predict it. It's tempting to invest ahead, but if your income doesn't catch up, now you've built a house of cards. Build a budget based on actual revenue, not hopes or projections. Putting red light, green light. This is your permission to pause and evaluate spending regularly. If an expense is generating ROI, keep going. You've got a green light. If it's not producing results, stop. You're at a red light, or at least reassess. This applies to everything: marketing campaigns, vendor services, tools, systems. If it's not helping you move toward your goal, it's a distraction. Be honest, be objective. This is about results, not emotion. And stick to the budget. Once you've built your budget, honor it. Don't treat it like a suggestion. Treat it like a commitment to your future self. If you set 10% for marketing, hold yourself to it. If you budgeted for three events, don't let FOMO drive you to 6. Budget brings discipline, and discipline builds wealth. Together, these 3 rules create a system of control. You don't overspend, you don't stay attached to things that don't work, and you treat your business like a business, because that's exactly what it is. Let's talk about the power of big goals. Let's bring everything back together. We're going to dive into the 2 biggest areas of spending in your real estate business: cost of sales and operating expenses. So, kind of thinking back to our economic model that we've done, all of that kind of stuff. First, cost of sale. This is the money it takes to actually earn the income, not to run your business, but to acquire the income itself. For example, if you're on a team and you pay a listing specialist or buyer's agent a percentage of the commission, that's a cost of sale. Same goes for paying a referral fee or a broker split. These costs only show up when you close a deal, which means they're variable. They scale with your production. You don't have a cost of sale if you don't have a closing. Next, operating expenses. These are the costs required to run your business, whether you're closing a deal or not. This includes generating leads, paying staff, keeping your systems running, educating yourself, showing up as a professional. Let's break down some of the key areas you need to track for operating expenses. Salaries, Administrative staff, virtual assistants, transaction coordinators, so probably for a lot of you new agents, the first one that you'll see is transaction coordinators. Although the model of the MREA is to hire an admin first, and the admin does things like TV. Lead generation, talking mailers, ad signs, events, occupancy, office rent and utilities, technology, subscriptions, command add-ons, website tools. Command add-ons is gonna include things like Twilio. Phone, cell, VoIP services, dialers, supplies, paper, printer, ink, signage materials, education, coaching, training, events, books, equipment, laptops, printers, camera gear, and auto insurance. Sorry, auto/insurance. Mileage, car maintenance, business liability policies.
And is there a way that we can, on the auto insurance and equipment, how do we know what, like, percentage to pull? Is that something that we would have to talk to our CPA about?
I will talk to a CPA because I'm assuming that you're only gonna be able to write off a certain amount for your business purposes. So I would talk to the CPA about auto and insurance and.
Because the other thing that Louis and I have been talking about is like, if I purchase a car strictly for business.
Mhm.
And then I only drive it when I'm working. How does that work?
Yeah, that's a CPA question.
See,
I know. Let's talk about how the millionaire real estate agent handles their money. The MREA budget model is simple. It's built on percentages of your GCI, your gross commission income. That's the total money your business brings in before expenses. This model recommends a 30-30-40 split. 30% to cost of sales, 30% to operating expenses, and finally 40% to net profit. So cost of sale, this is what you pay out when you close a deal, referral fees, broker splits, or team commissions. So team commissions, any other cost of sales. 30% to operating expenses. This is what it takes to keep your business running, staff, systems, marketing, office space, education. All that kind of stuff. And then 40% is net profit. That's what you keep. That's the money you live on, save, and invest in your future. If you stick to this model, you'll not only build a strong business, you'll build wealth. So
out that operating expenses. That would cover our. Would that be part of what comes out for like the office?
Yep.
6% and our cap and all of that.
So 6% in cap is gonna be cost of sale. You only pay it when you close a transaction. Your office fee is gonna be in here, and that one's a little interesting because. That $75 a month technically covers occupancy, it covers some office expenses, right, like your first 100 black and whites. It covers your CRM, some of your equipment, you know what I mean, so that $75 a month is you break it up.
Prints, black and white. You get 100 of them,
100 black and whites for free every month.
okay, and then colors are
12 cents.
12 cents a month. Okay, I was asking somebody the other day and they didn't know how much.
In your ICA.
It's probably,
So here's the big idea, we call it the 30-30-40 rule. Keep your cost of sale under 30%, don't give away more than that on commission, splits, or referrals. Keep your operating expenses under 30%, that includes everything from staff to marketing to paper clips. And most importantly, protect your 40% net profit, because that's the reason you're in business. If your numbers are off, it's okay. Most agents don't start out perfect, but this model gives you a target to grow toward. You don't just want to make a lot of money, you want to keep it. Remember, $1 million GCI business that nets $100K is still living on thin margins, but a $300,000 GCI business that nets $120K, that's smart, scalable, and sustainable. Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure I don't have anybody. Your power is in the profit. Let's bring it all together with this key mindset shift. Profit is not what's left over, it's what you plan for first. Too many agents treat profit like a bonus, something that might be there at the end of the year if everything goes right. But in true business, profit is protected by budget, not discovered by accident. Here's how we fix that. You start with your net income goal, the amount you want to actually keep. Then you build your budget backwards using the MREA model. 30% to cost of sales, 30% to operating expenses, 40% to net profit. This gives you a structure to make smart decisions about where your money goes. You'll want to watch two areas very closely. First, cost of sale. If you're giving away too much in team splits, broker splits, or referrals, your margin disappears. Second, operating expenses. These should all be strategic. If it doesn't generate a return, it doesn't sit in the budget. Bottom line, you don't find profit, you budget for it. That's how millionaire real estate agents build freedom, not just closings. So what's important here is the economic model that we've done too kind of accounts for this. Like we're talking about your GCI, then we're adding in expenses and cost of sale, and then that's the number that we're actually trying to earn you next year or whatever we're talking about in our goals. However, this is taking it one step further. In the economic model, because of how we did it, we were like, minimum this, right? Like minimum expenses is $21.25. That would literally just be what it's going to cost you to keep an active license and be able to sell, right? But if we're talking about following the MREA budget, now we're going to start with our net income goal, and we're going to say, okay, I want to make $100,000 next year, and then that means that I'm going to put 30% of that into operating expenses. I'm gonna put 30% of that into cost of sale. Right? So it's kind of taking it one step further than that. Let's talk about one of the most powerful concepts in the MREA budget model. Investing in people and systems. Millionaire agents don't try to do everything themselves. They invest in the right leverage, people and tools, so they can focus on what grows the business. Let's break it into two parts. First, people. This is your admin support and sales support. It could be a transaction coordinator, marketing assistant, executive assistant, or a showing agent or buyer/listing specialist. You don't hire people just to be busy. You hire people to free up your time so you can focus on the 20%. Lead generation, appointment, and negotiations. A great hire should allow you to make more money by doing less of the wrong things. And if you're not sure how to hire the right person, use the career visioning model. It's how KW agents build businesses with talent, not just talent. Second is systems. Sorry. This includes your CRM, your smart plans, your lead capture tools, your checklists, your automation. Systems give you scalability and consistency. They keep your business running even when you're busy or out of town. So ask yourself, what's taking me too long? What do I repeat constantly? What could be automated, delegated, or documented? Remember, don't ask what will this cost me, ask what will this free me to do. When you invest in the right people and systems, you buy back their time, and that time is where you make your money. So for you guys as newer agents, this is twofold. One, you guys are not yet in a red light, green light position to go hire an admin, which would be your first hire, right? However, because you are a KW agent, you have certain leverage points available to you automatically. We mentioned them. You've got command, you've got smart plans. There's a lot that we can automate with the technology that we have. With Google Workplace, there's a lot of things that we could put into templates. So if you're sending the same email over and over and over again, let's put it in a template so you're not having to recreate that email every single time. One of the examples is the earnest money deposit link. That's something that you're going to send pretty much the same information every time you send that earnest money deposit link.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's template this.
Oh no, I've never used it.
Yeah, it's on our website. Scroll down, yeah. So now that we've covered the percentages and categories, let's actually put it into practice. I want you to draft a sample monthly budget using the 30-30-40 MREA model. Here's how we'll do it. Step 1, start with your monthly GCI goal. What do you want to bring in this month, realistically and based off of your economic model? You don't have a firm number, just use $10,000 as an example. And I'll kind of take it a step below. I did put in your guys' packets the budget model with the breakdown of the different accounts and that kind of stuff. And then it does show you in here, if you've got a goal of $150,000 GCI, it already breaks down what your stuff is gonna be. And so if your net income goal is 73,500, that's about where you're gonna be. So just some examples on that. But next page in your guide should be a note section, so you can just use that. So you're gonna put in what you want to bring in this month. If you don't have a thing, let's just use $10,000 as an example. Step 2, we're gonna break it down. So we're gonna take 30% of that number and allocate it to cost of sale. Things like splits, referral fees, or team commissions, right? So in our example here of $10,000 GCI goal, the 30% would be $3,000. Okay. Then take another 30% for operating expenses. This is where all your business expenses go, staff, marketing systems, etc. So we've got 30% in for operating expenses. And the remaining 40%, that's your net profit, your actual take home before personal taxes. So that's $4. Okay. Under operating expenses, divide that amount across the key categories. Think about how much you spend or plan to spend on things like salaries, lead generation, technology, office space, phone and supplies, education, insurance, and auto expenses. You don't need to get it perfect today. This is about creating awareness and structure. So for you guys as brand new agents, again, we haven't really reached a point where we're at a green light situation for you guys. But there's also, you have to spend money to make money, right? But what we don't want to do is tilt the scale so far towards the spend money that we don't make money at the end of the day, right? So this is a really good guideline for you guys to put your goal in here that we've already discussed, work backwards, and say, okay, what you're gonna focus on is your operating expenses, right? Your cost of sales already set, right? So you're gonna take this operating expenses and you're gonna break this down. If you are spending more than what is allotted in your lead generation category, we need to bring it back. Right? If you spend more on your phone than what's in your thing, we need to go make sure that we're using our KW discount and all of those kinds of things to make sure that we're following this. And again, like technology and occupancy, and even some of your equipment is already bundled up in that 75. So you can theoretically pull from categories that you're not reaching in, but you don't have to, I wouldn't. Okay. Remember, a budget is simply your business plan in numbers. And when you put numbers to your vision, it becomes real, measurable, trackable, and achievable. So I want you guys to take the page that you guys have in your sheet with the percentage breakdown for compensation, lead generation, occupancy, all that kind of stuff, and I want you to make a budget for yourself based on your goal. So, and again, I understand that where you guys in this room are at right now, you most likely are not spending all of these things, but what I want you guys to know is what you should spend over for each of these categories for now. Okay, so take a couple minutes, fill that out. You guys get through it? Still working on
I have no money.
it? Well, that's why I said I don't expect you guys, for you guys, the importance isn't that I'm expecting you to spend this much in a category. But there shouldn't be a zero. Anywhere on here, there should not be a zero. Because this is based off of what you expect or want to earn in the next month. And again, the importance of this isn't that I expect you to be putting $3,000 of expenses in your business. It's that you shouldn't be exceeding $3,000 in your business.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want you guys in this room specifically to take away from this. Is that we have a cap on what we will spend. Okay?
Okay.
Now that you drafted your monthly budget, let's take a closer look at where your money is. Going and more importantly, where it doesn't need to. This is where we start thinking like business owners, not just real estate agents. Every dollar in your budget should have a job. If an expense isn't helping you generate income, save time, or grow the business, it may be time to trim, tweak, or terminate. Ask yourself, am I using everything I'm paying for? Can I renegotiate a better rate or find a more cost-effective tool? Is this expense producing income or just adding noise? Hey, John.
Hey.
That form is anonymous, right? You're not recording emails on it, right? I've gotten that question several times today.
It is anonymous, it says so in the email that.
Yeah.
It says in the email, but it's.
Email.
If you click on the form, it says not recording.
Yeah,
On
up
the
at the top, yeah.
And who's receiving those responses? Okay, so if an email does come through, you're.
Yeah, I didn't know either, that's why I was like, I hope he doesn't know who I am, because I just kind of put random together.
Because I know what you got.
No, yeah, it's just like specific to me.
I'm not talking to him.
Like right now.
Friday or next week or month, you know. And I'm gonna tell him about Cheryl, be responsible. I'm going, I have lots of 8 days in the man. I'm not talking.
You can share them.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't want that. I don't know.
I know that. If she wants to call. Because that's what I'm told. So I'm like,
Is it supposed to like?
So I thought that. It says.
Yes,
But.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
You can fill it out in more than. You're saying it's one question per
Yeah.
page. And send that to me. You're not.
Yeah.
Because it's just my.
Yeah.
So do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So is my brain. Watch these categories especially closely. Subscriptions and software tools. Are they still valuable? If you are paying for Adobe PDF viewer, stop paying for Adobe PDF viewer. I promise you there are free resources online that work beautifully to edit PDFs, sign PDFs, organize them, delete pages, all of that kind of stuff. It is called I Love PDF. I Love PDF is the greatest website you'll ever find in your life. You are welcome for this free treasure. I use it all the time. You can upload 5 or 6 PDFs into it and organize them. You can delete pages out of PDFs. You can do everything with PDFs on there. So that's just an example. If you are paying for Adobe PDF viewer or whatever it's called, stop. Marketing that isn't converting. Are you tracking your ROI? Office and occupancy costs. Do you actually need that space? Auto travel and signage. Are they justified by results? This isn't about being cheap, it's about being strategic. Now that you've built a sample budget, it's time to step back and ask a big picture question. Is your budget aligned with your economic goal? Think back to what we mapped out in the economic goal. Your net income target. How many closings you need, how many appointments it takes to get there, and how many leads you'll need to generate consistently. Now ask yourself, does your current or planned spending support that path? Are you allocating enough to lead generation to actually hit those numbers? Are you spending in areas that don't directly help you move towards your goal? For example, if you need 36 closings to net 100K. And that requires 180 leads for the year, then your budget reflects that level of lead generation. Are your marketing dollars and time investment in line with what the math says you'll need? Remember, the budget model brings structure to your economic goal. It keeps your expenses in check, so your profit stays protected. And when those two models are in sync, your business becomes predictable and scalable. So take a look at what you wrote down earlier. Where are you aligned? And where might you be off track? Probably doesn't happen by accident, it happens through alignment. Your numbers need to agree with your goals. So, again, just like, we're gonna look back. I'm gonna go all the way back in our packet and look at our economic model.
No.
And we're gonna make sure everything is aligned. Okay? So this is another example of. Lexi needs to add more content today. Because we are already
content.
on the ahas.
Okay, my aha,
But I have
some
I will just say, aha is when you make money.
I need to make money. Yeah. Cause I don't have any money to spend on any of these except, like, I'm literally for my office expenses, I am actually taking money out of my personal account.
Yeah.
I plan on putting all my babysitting money in my business.
Well, I've almost
My business.
I've almost come to tell the person that I'm doing all the admin stuff for, can you pay my office? I just pay my office bill and I'll do whatever you want me to.
Or pay my office bill and I'll do X amount of hours worth of stuff for you a month. At no cost, anything over, I wouldn't say I'll do whatever, I would say I will do X for you in exchange to pay my office bill. Alright, have you out with today's session on the budget model, I want to remind you of something simple but powerful. It's not just about what you make, it's about what you keep. We've covered how to break your budget into the right categories, use the 30-30-40 model to protect profit. Invest in people and systems that move the business forward, and most importantly, track and control your expenses with intention. You now have the tools to make decisions, like a business owner, not just an agent. Remember, your economic goal, the economic model gave you a goal. Your lead gen plan gave you the path to get there. And now your budget model makes sure that once the money comes in, it stays working for you. So let's take a minute to reflect together. We already did that. You guys did.
Basically, I'm losing money.
Yeah, I am too, like big time.
So luckily, I have KPAs for both of you, because we're gonna do some KPA stuff.
For 5 minutes.
She did the short one, you did the long one.
I did a really.
Yeah, she did the short one, you did the long one, and I don't have your results, I'm gonna bring it next week.
And I did what you told me, I was telling her, and I went home and I fed it to ChatGPT. And it gave me like books to read and like a 9-week program to work on all of my low points.
Nice. Yeah, the KPAs are great, we're gonna, I'm gonna print your guys' off, and then hopefully if anybody else comes next week, they have. Their KPAs, and we're gonna do a KPA verification together, which is why I haven't given you yours yet, because you're gonna be here, and I'm just gonna verify
I
it.
probably will be here more than likely
And I'll give
So-
you mine again.
next Wednesday.
Yes, if not, we will verify.
You can give me, I've not taken it yet.
We're gonna talk, next week about, your guys' KPA, how to verify other people's KPA, kind of at like a high level. And next week is the organizational model, so kind of all how all that happens together, so. That is it for this series, this time around, because I'm gonna go after this,
Okay,
so I'm gonna beef it up by like 20 minutes.
I know that you need more content, but do you mind showing like how to do the